and it's always like the saddest chapter ever comes after the funniest chapters in the world, and my emotions cannot handle that kind of whiplash. Hi, I'm Claudia and I love a good social media fanfic. There's just something about them that scratches this little itch in my brain and I love them to death. I think it's just because I love kind of unconventional methods of storytelling, and social media fics are like the epitome of that. Like an entire fanfic told through the medium of Twitter, I will read in a heartbeat. And recently I've really got back into reading them a lot more frequently, and maybe that's because I've been reading a lot of heated rivalry fanfiction. But you know, we're not going to read into that, okay? Because maybe it's a problem that heated rivalry is like my most bookmarked fandom on AO3 and it's only been out 6 months in the UK, but we're not going to think about that, okay? Yes, that means I have more heated rivalry fics bookmarked than I do 911 fics. No, I don't want to think about the repercussions of that. We're just not gonna talk about it, okay? Anyway, what I was saying is social media fanfics, I just love them so much. And when I'm saying social media fanfics, I'm also including text fics, because to me they're like same thing, different font. They all fall like under the same umbrella, if you know what I mean. And I just love them. And is that a crime? No, I think it's a good thing. I've even written a social media fic, which I think is my most popular 911 fic on AO3. It's called The Adventures of the Buck Buckley Fan Club Group Chat, which I know is a mouthful. Trust me, it literally just took me like 10 tries to say that right. The basic plot is that this group of Hot Shots fangirls end up getting Buck and Eddie together through like very unconventional means after Buck and Eddie appear in that episode of Hot Shots in season 8. But I genuinely had so much fun writing that fanfic. Like, I wrote it in a day, which is practically unheard of for me, who is a very slow writer usually. And like, my love of social media fanfic started way back when I was like 12, 13 and I started reading fanfiction on Wattpad. And like back in the day on Wattpad, text fics, social media fics, it was all done through like text formatting. And then I graduated to AO3 at age 18 and suddenly I realized, oh my god, people are doing coding. Now, if I ever choose to write another social media fanfic, will I touch the coding aspect of it? No. I will do exactly what I did last time and just do it through text formatting. I am not ashamed to admit that I'm 21 years old and HTML coding scares me. The things people do on AO3, they're like geniuses, magical wizards with wands who magic up the perfect fanfic. Like, people are putting in letters that you can open into fanfics now and I'm like, how? Also, the last time I did any kind of coding would have been when I was about 16 and I was doing my computer science GCSE 5 years ago. So yeah, I'm not touching that. Maybe one day in the future I will attempt with someone's tutorial, because there's so many tutorials on AO3 or like skins that people have already made that you can use and it like tells you how to use them. So maybe one day in the future I will try. But at the moment I have no plans to. There's a long list of things I'm scared of, but I think the top ones are wasps, HTML coding on AO3 and 911 season 10. That's like my top 3 things I'm scared of. But that's not to say I don't love reading the stuff with HTML coding, because it blows my mind. Like, sometimes there'll be like a little box and it'll look like a text message and you can scroll through the text messages and it doesn't move the page, you're just scrolling through this little box and I'm like, how? Or something else with heated rivalry fanfics I've noticed is some people are putting it in like the coding that you can click on like words in Russian and it will show a translation of them, and I'm like, the first time I saw that, it genuinely blew my mind. I was like, what is going on here? But people who like consistently write social media fanfics and that's like their thing and they do all the HTML coding for it, I bow down to you. I could never, okay? I would get stressed out so fast. But anyway, back to my love of social media fanfics. As I said before, I liked them when I was like really young and on Wattpad, but when I moved to AO3, I didn't read as many. I think that was kind of because I was reading like super long angsty fics otherwise. But then when I got into heated rivalry and I started reading heated rivalry fanfics, obviously social media fics and text fics in the heated rivalry fandom are very popular for good reason. Because, you know, in canon, the 2 characters are famous, so of course they're gonna have like fangirls on Twitter, and I love that. And I think what really brought back my love of social media fanfics in a long way is Back and Forth from New York. If you are a heated rivalry fan and you haven't read Back and Forth from New York, go read it. Honestly, it changed my life. Before it had been finished, I had reread it 3 times, okay? I haven't reread it in a while, actually. I should reread Back and Forth from New York. I miss her. But Back and Forth from New York had a companion fic, which is like social media posts, and there's like 1 chapter for every chapter of the main fic, so you can like read them side by side. And I love that. When I tell you, I was sat there like, read 1 chapter, switch to the next tab, read the chapter of the social media fic, switch back to the other tab, read the next chapter. Like, that's what I was doing for like a solid day when I like first reread it and I was like reading them both at the same time. I loved it. And the amount of time and effort people who write social media fics put in, like to find pictures that look like they could be taken by the characters, but aren't actually taken by the characters because we don't have those pictures. Like, the amount of work that must take. Like, my social media fic that I wrote did not have any pictures in, and that was because I didn't want to even like try and find pictures that worked. I was like, I'm not touching that. We're just gonna leave it, okay? And then under the same umbrella, as I said earlier, you have text fics. So again, you've got that kind of unconventional storytelling because the fic is told entirely through texts. My favorite part of that is seeing names of group chats and like contact names for people, because I find that unreasonably hilarious, mainly because authors like to make little jokes in there and I find them very, very funny, okay? Like, you see them texting a group chat and then suddenly they'll switch to texting someone individually and then they'll go back to the group chat and it's like, who doesn't know what? I love it. And some of those are done with like HTML coding, but some are just done with like text formatting. Either or is fine. Even with social media fics, like if you just want to do text formatting because like me, HTML coding scares you, like I will still read it. People are also like so creative in ways they can like show things like replies on Twitter. People have a lot of different ways of doing it. Some will have like arrows before the username, and like the number of arrows means like how many replies there's been. So like reply to that one, and then there's a reply to the original tweet and then another reply to that one, and it's like, how did you even come up with that in your brain? Like, how? But like the thing that I most love, I think, about social media fanfics is that the storytelling is absolutely impeccable. Like, you have minor plot points that are like tiny hints are left in like chapter 2 and then it comes back in like chapter 15 and you're like, oh my god, that actually meant something. Or if it's like a social media fanfic and you've seen a bunch of fan accounts, you kind of like get to know them throughout the chapters, even though they're like completely original characters and you don't know anything about them apart from these like fan tweets they're making. But by the end you're like, oh, I want to see what their reaction is because you've like read so many of their tweets in this fic, and I love that. And also seeing like the usernames people come up with like for like fan accounts, I also very much enjoy that. Like, they're always the most unhinged thing, and yet I look at them and be like, yeah, I could see that being someone's Twitter username. Or sometimes, this is especially with Heated Rivalry, I feel like the Heated Rivalry fandom and the 911 fandom, there's quite a lot of crossover. So sometimes when I'm reading Heated Rivalry fics, people will like slip in like usernames or like display names on Twitter for like fan accounts, and it's also like a 911 fan account, and I'm like, I see you. Like someone tweeting about Holonov that has a display name of Buddy Cannon season 10, I'm like, that is me. It's just me. Side note, I'm heavily missing 911. It's early July. We've still got like months left until 911's back for the new season, and I'm already missing them like a limb. So give me my 118 back. Anyway, another thing I love about social media fanfics is like the way they portray angst. Now, if you've watched any of my other fanfic videos on this channel, you know I'm a bit of a fiend for angst. I'll say I hate it, but then I'll read like 10 angsty fics in a row and end up crying and I'll staring at a wall for hours. Anyway, if a fanfic is like completely just a text fic or just a social media fic and doesn't have any like actual like written paragraph sections, the way the angst is done is so cool. Because like if you can only portray it through texts, like you've got to convey a character's emotions through how they're texting someone, which is like so hard to do. And all of the authors do it so well. Like sometimes it's as much as like a slight change in how they use punctuation or how they capitalize their text. They say they like always capitalize, but when they're like stressed out, they forget to capitalize stuff. Like that kind of storytelling boggles my mind, because I'm like, how did people think about that in that moment, you know? Also, there's a lot of kind of like personality that can be shown through text and like tweets and stuff, because like when you're writing it, you have to make the choice of, does this character use auto capitalization, do they not? If they don't, why don't they? That kind of thing. Like you got to think about, will they use abbreviations? So if like, for example, instead of writing the word you, they'll just use the letter U. Will they use apostrophes when there's contractions, or will they not bother? Will they type in all caps, or are they someone who doesn't like to do that? There's like so many things that you can like switch around for different characters to give them like a bit of personality, even though you're just seeing like their text or whatever. Do they use emojis, or do they use like older style emoticons? Like, I am in awe of like some of the like little tiny details people put in that are like so perfect. They add so much to the fic because it's like really personalized to each character, and I love it so much. Some of my favorite Heated Rivalry fanfics that I've been reading, like social media fanfics that I've been reading, are the ones where Ilya gets a like secret burner fan account and ends up fighting all of the Shaden fans on Twitter. I'm sorry, it just cracks me up. Oh, and there's a text fic, I think it just finished. If I can remember, I can't remember the name right now. If I do remember the name, I'll put it on the screen now. It's like an Ottawa team group chat fic after Shane gets traded. And oh my god, I love that fic to death. The amount of times that fic updated and I would sit and read the update and just start giggling to myself, like it was so funny. But also, especially with Heated Rivalry fanfics, social media and like text fics can be horrifically sad, because obviously with heated rivalry you've got the secret relationship of it all, so they have to like delete messages that say each other's names, and they can't keep photos of each other's on the phone, and they can't like reply to each other's social media posts, and it's so sad. And it's always like the saddest chapter ever comes after the funniest chapters in the world, and my emotions cannot handle that kind of whiplash. It's like 1 second I'm giggling to myself in the dark in bed at like midnight, and then the next second I'm trying not to cry. It's awful. And that's what makes a fic so good. I need a little bit of that whiplash in my life. I know I say I hate it and that I can't handle, but really that's because I need it, okay? Oh, and another social media fanfic I love, it's like a series, but one of them, the summary is like, it's Ilya's burner account, and the tweet is like, I hope Roger Crowell dies. My name is Hayden Pike and I play for the Montreal Voyagers. And I giggle so hard at that series. I guess what I'm saying is I love a social media fic for a good cry. I love a social media fic for a good laugh. And I love it for everything in between too. And I know social media fanfics, some people like hate them and won't read them. It's like a bit like Marmite. Some people love them, some people hate them. But like if you've never tried one, go and try one, because trust me, they are so good. In my opinion at least. You might not like them, but to me, they are so good. Oh my god, and I haven't even talked about email fics. Oh my god, email fics. Don't even talk to me about email fics. Email fanfics are what they say on the tin, fanfics told through emails. But the thing with the heated rivalry fandom is, because email isn't really used so much anymore, the email fics tend to be like early on in their careers, and they're sending emails to each other and like dying, because it's so sad. Like they just want to be friends in public and they can't because of like the rivalry of it all, and it's so sad, okay? And then like sometimes in the middle they'll get like an email from like a PR agency being like, we want to play on the rivalry, and it's like, no! And sometimes I end up just like crying, but at the same time I'm like trying so hard to appreciate the amount of effort and HTML coding has gone into the fic, and I'm like, it's so sad, but also it's blowing my mind. It's all just amazing, and I love it all to death. And if I could spend the rest of my life reading social media fics, I think I'd be quite happy, you know? Social media fics, text fics, email fics, all of those, I think I'd be quite happy. I mean, I miss the long fics, but also I think I'd be alright. And also if it's like an ongoing fic, every time there's like a new chapter posted, it'll be in like the author's note, be like, sorry this took a while, I was figuring out the HTML coding. I'm like, I do not care how long it takes. Like this masterpiece is gonna take a while. I will wait patiently, okay? Like, take all the time you need. I cannot even begin to fathom the level of coding that you have to do. So, like, you take as much time as you require. I'll sit here and wait, and just know every time a new chapter is posted, I'll be right in there. So if you're watching this and you're the author of a social media fanfic, just thank you. Thank you for all that you do, all the time you take, all the formatting and HTML coding you do. Like, thank you. I promise I appreciate it. Like, I don't know if everyone appreciates it like I do, but I appreciate it, okay? And if you're out there and you're a heated rivalry fan watching this and you haven't read a social media fanfic, go read one. I promise you it will change your life, okay? Like, I promise it will change your life. But now I have to do the really awkward and really cringy YouTuber thing and ask if you like the video, maybe like leave a like on it, or potentially even subscribe. I post a bunch of videos all about fanfiction and TV shows and fandom stuff, so if you like that kind of thing, you might enjoy what I do here. There'll also be links in the description to, firstly, my AO3 profile if you want to read any of my AO3 fics, including the one I mentioned in this video. Also, there'll be links to my Twitter account where I mostly yap about 911 if you want to go follow me there, and also to my TikTok account. I post new fanfiction related TikToks literally every single day, so if you feel like that's something you might enjoy, you might want to follow me over there. So yeah, I've been Claudia, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll hopefully see you all soon. Bye!